President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has declared a state of emergency over growing insecurity in the West Africa country, and as such, banned open grazing, with a call on Herders Association to tell their members to surrender illegal weapons in their possession, and as well gave a matching order to the Department of State Services, DSS, to recruit more forest guards to chase away terrorists and bandits from all forests in Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also called on members of the National Assembly to review existing laws in Nigeria and give rooms for the establishment of state police. In his words, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while declaring the state of emergency on security matters on Wednesday, said, "Today, in view of the emerging security situation, I have decided to declare a nationwide security emergency and order additional recruitment into the armed forces. By this declaration, the police and the army are authorized to recruit more personnel. The police will recruit an additional 20,000 officers, bringing the total to 50,000. Although I had previously approved the nationwide upgrade of police training facilities, the police authorities are, by this statement, authorized to use various National Youth Service Corps camps as training depots. The officers being withdrawn from VIP guard duties should undergo crash training to debrief them and deliver more efficient police services when deployed to security-challenged areas of the country. The DSS also has my authority to immediately deploy all the forest guards already trained to flush out the terrorists and bandits lurking in our forests. The agency also has my directive to recruit more men to man the forests. There will be no more hiding places for agents of evil. My fellow Nigerians, this is a national emergency, and we are responding by deploying more boots on the ground, especially in security-challenged areas. The times require all hands on deck. As Nigerians, we should all get involved in securing our nation. Let me take this moment to commend our security agencies for working together to secure the release of the 24 schoolgirls in Kebbi and the 38 worshippers in Kwara State. We will continue to sustain the efforts to rescue the remaining students of Catholic school in Niger State and other Nigerians still being held hostage. To the leadership and rank and file of our armed forces, I commend your courage and your sacrifice. This is a challenging moment for our nation and for the military institution itself. I charge you to remain resolute, to restore peace across all theaters of operation, and to uphold the highest standards of discipline and integrity. There must be no compromise, no collusion, and no negligence. The Nigerian people are counting on you, and this administration will provide the support you need to succeed. In addition, our administration will support state governments which have set up security outfits to safeguard their people from the terrorists bent on disrupting our national peace. I call on the National Assembly to begin reviewing our laws to allow states that require state police to establish them. States should rethink establishing boarding schools in remote areas without adequate security. Mosques and churches should constantly seek police and other security protection. There are concerns that a renewed war may break out between Israel and Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon as Pope Leo XIV prepares to visit Turkey and Lebanon beginning this week, from the 27th of November to the 2nd of December 2025, which will be the first apostolic journey of the head of Catholic Church outside Italy of his pontificate. The possible renewed war may occur following Hezbollah stands to retaliate attacks Israel launched in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut on Sunday, killing Hezbollah chief of staff and second in command, Haytham Ali Tabatabai, alongside 4 other persons, namely, Qasim Hussein Bajawi, Mustafa Assad Berro, Rifat Ahmed Hussein, Ibrahim Ali Hussein, and funeral is being held in their honor in Beirut as at the time of filing in this report on Monday. Israel, while confirming the killings, said, Tabatabai is a mass murderer, his hands are soaked in the blood of many Israelis and Americans, and it is not for nothing that the US put a bounty of $5 million on his head, although previous popes had visited Lebanon in the past successfully, but the current pope, Pope Leo XIV, is the first US-born citizen to be pontiff or head of the Roman Catholic Church. And one of the Hezbollah official, Mahmoud Qumati, in a statement on Sunday as he stood near the bombed-out building in the Harid Rake suburb, said, Israel's strike crossed a red line, and Hezbollah's leadership would decide on whether and how the group would respond. The Hezbollah, while confirming Tabatabai's death, said, Tabatabai, the great jihadist commander, who had worked to confront Israeli enemy until the last moment of his blessed life, ascended as a martyr in sacrifice for Lebanon and its people following a treacherous Israeli attack on Harat Reik area in Beirut's southern suburb. Israel carried out the airstrike on the southern Beirut suburb for the first time since June, killing at least 5 people and wounding 28, according to Lebanon Health Ministry. Funeral proceedings for Haytham Ali Tabatabai, the Hezbollah commander, and others were held on Monday in Beirut's southern suburbs. Early photographs and videos from the scene showed Hezbollah members carrying Tabatabai's coffin, draped in yellow and green, and raising the group's yellow flags as they marched through the Lebanese capital. Hezbollah said the strike, launched almost exactly a year after a ceasefire ended the Israel-Hezbollah war, threatened an escalation of attacks, just days before Pope Leo XIV is scheduled to visit Lebanon on his first foreign trip outside Italy. In its statement, the IDF said Tabatabai commanded most of Hezbollah's units and worked hard to restore them to readiness for war with Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office said earlier Sunday that the Hezbollah chief of staff was the target of the Israeli strike on southern Beirut. Office of the Prime Minister of Israel in a statement on Sunday said, a short while ago, in the heart of Beirut, the IDF attacked the Hezbollah chief of staff, who had been leading the terrorist organization's build-up and rearmament. Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered the attack upon the recommendation of the defense minister and the IDF chief of staff. Israel is determined to act to achieve its objectives everywhere and at all times. The Israeli Prime Minister, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria Federal Capital Territory, on Thursday convicted and sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to a passionate prison term of life imprisonment against the penalty of death sentence he said he ought to have pronounced on the Biafra Republic agitation leader over the statements Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made on October 20, 2020 through Radio Biafra during the warlike situation between the civilian population and Nigeria security operatives following series of reports that the Nigeria security operatives were shooting and killing innocent unarmed protesters, who were protesting against bad government and police brutalities tagged Ends's protest. Justice Omotosho in his ruling said, Nnamdi Kanu was responsible for the killing of 175 security operatives during the Ends's civil-military war-like situation on October 20, 2020, and Justice Omotosho in his ruling failed to state the numbers of civilians that were killed by Nigeria security operatives during the war-like situation that apparently forced Nnamdi Kanu to start teaching the civilians on how to manufacture Molotov cocktail, also known as petrol bombs, urging them to go and meet welders to buy bulletproof doors from the welders to defend themselves, and launched a retaliatory defensive attacks against the Nigeria security operatives who were accused of turning the peaceful protest into a barrage of gunfire, human rights violations and abuses. Justice Omotosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu on counts 4 and 5 over the Ends's protest, and he described Nnamdi Kanu action during the violent protest as an act of terrorism. On count 1, Justice Omotosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu for an act of preparatory to commit terrorism over statements made by Nnamdi Kanu in May 2021. Justice Omotosho in the ruling claimed and ruled that Nnamdi Kanu declared war against security operatives in the southeast states without provocation. This statement by Justice Omotosho apparently made him look like a biased person, because after Justice Omotosho read the entire 7-count charge and convicted Nnamdi Kanu, Justice Omotosho thereafter recognized a media news report and broadcast of Nnamdi Kanu on April 25, 2021, wherein Nnamdi Kanu vowed to avenge the killing of Akonso, the then head of Eastern Security Network, ESN, by a combined team of Nigeria security operatives led by the Nigerian Army under the command of former Chief of Army Staff, late Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, who was then the General Officer commanding GOC 82 Division, The Nigerian army insisted in its report that a conso was killed during exchange of gunfire with the security operatives, but Nnamdi Kanu rejected the claim and repeatedly stated that a conso was killed in his sleep and the killing was a pure case of assassination by the federal government of Nigeria as a way to weaken the people of southeast states and deny them the ability to be able to establish the Eastern Security Network, ESN, to defend themselves against Boko Haram terrorists and expansionist foreign Fulani invaders from different countries like Mali, Gambia, Senegal, Nigerian Republic and Chad that were advancing from the northern part of Nigeria.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.